Welcome to the Kerry Barrett Show. I'm Kerry Barrett. Along with expert interviews about social media, about video marketing, and about video strategy, this podcast is the place that you'll come to learn to show up comfortably, confidently, and compellingly on camera so that you can leverage the lens for every single opportunity it can give you. That means social media, it means content creation, it means media opportunities, course creation, and audience visibility and growth. I overcame a debilitating fear of speaking to go on to a 25-year Emmy Award-winning on-camera career. But it's only when I realized the connection wasn't about perfection, but about realness and relatability that my success on camera and in my business soared. It's how I grew my brand online and in life. And this is where you will learn to do the same. So let's jump in. Welcome to episode 1 of the Kerry Barrett Show. I am Kerry Barrett, and this podcast is aimed to be super fun and interesting and entertaining and informative as well. So this podcast, as you just heard, is the place where you go to learn to speak comfortably, confidently, and compellingly on camera. That is my story, and I'll dive into that in just a little bit. But we're also going to learn about all of the other things that go around showing up on camera for your business or for your personal brand or for your company. And I understand that depending on where you fall in that spectrum, meaning like, do you work for somebody else? Do you work for yourself? How much agency do you have over the way that you show up on camera? There may be certain elements that you want to take a deeper dive into. And that's when I would love for you to reach out to me and see how I can help you. But we're going to cover not just the speaking on camera part, but also all of the different ways that you can use the lens. So for social media, for media opportunities, to create your own digital show, if you'd like to create videos and video funnels for all of the different stages of your customers' buying journey. We'll also talk about some of the issues that plague us when it comes to content creation. For example, if you're not really techie, that's me. How you get around that. If you don't have a ton of time, that's me. How you get around that. And if you lack the confidence or you feel like you're not really sure where to begin when it comes to delivering on camera in a way that can hold your audience, that was me too. We're going to dive into all of that. But before we do, I want to give you a little bit of a background as to who I am, because I have a confession to make. And that is that I used to be absolutely terrible and terrified of showing up. And I don't just mean like showing up on camera. I just mean showing up in my life. Going back to a very young age, I had always struggled with massively low self-esteem, to the point where several times that struggle almost took my life. And it wasn't a quick fix, but I did find a way to overcome it. And I'm going to share a little bit of that with you right now, because I want you to know that I have been where you have been to some degree. And it is through that struggle and also through my academic knowledge and my experience that I figured out how to overcome it. And so while I was terrified of showing up in my life and anywhere for that matter, being heard or looked at or seen, I also went on to develop a 25-year on-camera career. And I had some success at it as well. I won a couple of Emmys, Murrows, and some other awards as well. I know how to deliver on camera. I know the importance of not just creating video, but creating it with a delivery that is intentional and that is hopefully engaging. And it won't be for everybody. I get that. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. If I were, nobody would feel very strongly about me one way or the other. I would just be sort of vanilla, milquetoast, to use a more eloquent word. The goal here is to use who you are and to deliver that person on camera in a way that brings your ideal people to you and chefs off the rest. And so My story is, aside from having an incredibly low self-esteem and being afraid of showing up, I wanted to be a veterinarian when I grew up. This is a number of years ago now. And one of the reasons I wanted to be a veterinarian, aside from the fact that I absolutely loved animals, is because I was hoping that it meant I wouldn't have to talk to people all that much. That is how shy and introverted I was. And to some degree, still am. Here's a hint: video allows you to control the message really, really well. And so I enrolled in pre-veterinary medicine career path, or course path, I should say, in college. And it was about a year and a half in that I realized there was one element of animal science that was even harder for me to overcome than my fear of being seen. And that was organic chemistry. So organic chemistry cut my veterinary career aspirations short pretty quickly. So I took a year and a half off to find myself, and a year and a half came and went, and I still hadn't found myself. And so what I did was I re-enrolled in the communications program at my school. And bonus, no organic chemistry. Second bonus, fairly broad. I was hoping that I could use something that I would learn in that program to earn a living, whether it was speech pathology or marketing or PR or business communication. Bonus 3, I was going to have to take a public speaking course, 2 of them, as a matter of fact. And I knew on some level that my fear of showing up was going to hinder me in my life. And so I was really hoping that this would help me get my arms around that fear and get better at it. And so aside from re-enrolling, one of the things that I was also looking to do was to make up for all of this lost time, right? I took a year and a half off. I didn't want to graduate a year and a half behind all of my friends. So when I re-enrolled, I didn't re-enroll with the 12 credit hours that would have made me a full-time student. I re-enrolled with 24. And I wanted to figure out how to jam another 3 credit hours into that first semester back so that I could, again, make up for some of that lost time. Well, I was already in class Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 or later, sometimes from 8 to 9, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so one of the ways that, or the only way that I ever came up with that I could fit another 3 extra credit hours into my schedule is to get an internship in an industry that worked 24/7. It's the news. The news industry is 24/7, 365. I could intern on the weekends. I could intern early in the mornings. I could intern overnight. And so I was lucky enough to get an internship at the local NBC affiliate in Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina, WYFF. And from day one, I absolutely loved it. I loved the storytelling. I loved the energy. I loved the information. I loved the ability of the hosts and the reporters to think on their feet. I love their ability to use their personality and their communication to keep the show moving forward, even when perhaps behind the scenes, everything was, falling to pieces. Prompter went out, reporter's live shot went down, whatever the case may be. That ability was something I really aspired to. And I saw what it did for them. I saw the notoriety that it brought them. I saw the confidence that they had. I saw the way people sort of hung on every word that they said. I saw the attention that it brought them. And I thought, oh my gosh, I do want that. I like storytelling. I like learning about people. I moved all over when I was a kid. I lived in many different countries, and I always enjoyed that element. But those other pieces, that attention, the ability to use your personality and your delivery and your humor to keep things going, boy, that was fascinating to me. Little did I know how much that would help me down the road. So I went on to finished my bachelor's in communications. I went and got a master's degree. I did 3 more interns, and then I launched a 20-year career in the broadcast news industry on camera. Well, first as a reporter and a producer, but then as a reporter, producer, and anchor, and then strictly as a reporter and anchor. And that is where things really changed for me. And part of it was because I had to show up every single day. I couldn't walk into my news director and be like, hey, Dan, I'm not really feeling up to it today. I'm feeling kind of nervous, and I'm not loving my hair, and I'm feeling bloated. I don't want to go on camera. That wasn't an option. I had to show up every single day. And it was through recorded and live video and showing up on screen that I grew my brand in the news industry, that I grew my brand as a business owner, and that I changed the way that I showed up in my life. And what I realized as I was getting better and I was developing the skills was when I was live, I had to dig myself out of whatever hole I had put myself into or technology had put myself into. So I had ad-libbed and I couldn't figure out how to get out of it, or again, the reporter's live shot crash, or the teleprompter went down, or my co-anchor's microphone cut out, or the battery died on the light, whatever it was. I had to figure out how to keep things moving forward compellingly so that we could get to the next element. And when I realized that I could navigate through whatever came my way, whether it was pretty or not, that's when things really changed for me. That's when my confidence grew. That's when I became who I am now, somebody who's not afraid to put themselves out there, or even if I am, recognize that I have the skills and the confidence to do it anyway. And it changed my life. And it certainly has changed the trajectory of my business. There is a reason that I'm able to have a show and do live videos and have media opportunities and create social media content and have videos everywhere and have an audience and a visibility that expands beyond my local networking group. There are efficiencies to video, and there's a control element to video, meaning even if you are shy or introverted, that's okay. Video is a great place to expand because you control everything that goes on around you. And when you get really good, you don't overthink it. So what used to take you 20 takes now takes you 2. Or you nail it on the first time and you're good to go. And so in this podcast, not only will we talk about the ways to deliver on camera and all of the different opportunities, not just confidence, but certainly visibility and audio and executive, certainly revenue, and also talk about the different elements that go into it: time, tech, confidence, mindset, use, and all of those different parts that make up your online persona or your online presence and your personal brand. And you can use that video then and the skills that you've learned to be able to handle sales calls and standing on a stage and talking to a live audience and selling one-to-many on a webinar or a masterclass. There are so many efficiencies and opportunities that video creates. And we're going to dive into all of them. Now, here's my one ask for you. If you have topics that you would love to see covered, please email me and let me know. You can email me Kerry@kerrybarrett.com. You can find a form on my website, again, kerrybarrett.com. Let me know, follow me on social and ask your questions and send me your topic ideas there. And if you have a guest that you think would be great, or if you would like to talk on this podcast, or if you would like to guest on this podcast, please shoot me an email and let me know. I would love to talk to you about it. Now, in the meantime, go ahead and subscribe. Please leave a comment, rate this, share this podcast with anybody whom you might think could benefit from it. You can also find a whole bunch of free resources that will help you up your video game. You can find those on my website, kerrybarrett.com/resources. And if you'd like to get an idea about how you show up on camera, take the quiz on my website. How bad are you on camera, really? You can find it at kerrybarrett.com/how bad are you on camera, really? And I can't wait to jump into all of this with you. And please share this podcast with anyone whom you think might be interested. It drops every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for listening. I'll see you then.